And a very good evening to everybody. Excuse me, and a very warm welcome to a Lyceum night coming to you from the Paul Spiritualist Church on the south coast of the UK. We have a delightful guest on tonight, a lady whose acquaintance we made virtually just a wee while back. Oh, hello, look, the Scottish is coming out already, Elizabeth. Just a short while back, and so personable and so wonderful, and said if we can come on again. So we said yes. And we're going to do a slightly different aspect tonight, but just in the pre-going live conversation, Elizabeth said something, and I thought, yes, very true. You know, as mediums, we often hear about our mediumship and our approach to mediumship. Tonight, Elizabeth is going to be sharing the thoughts, the guides, the philosophy received from her guide, which is Running Cloud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's nice just to get that extra depth, because you know the congregation see the ultimate of us on the platform they're working.
Mm-hmm.
But to get there, we've had to work and develop this rapport and relationship with all those that work with us on the spirit side.
Yes.
So wonderful opportunity to hear that side of our development. So Elizabeth, over to you, my darling.
Thank you so much, Laurie, for inviting me back. And I hope you all enjoyed tonight. It's really quite, it's nice for me to be able at this point to be talking about my guide, because when I did sit and think about how much his involvement in my work up till now has been, it's been immeasurable. It's just amazing. He's such a pivotal part of me now as I do the mediumship. But as I say, as a guide, we've all got those guides. We have all got those wonderful guides. Those energies that sit with us in the darkest of times and the lightest of times. But we all, whether we're doing mediumship or whether we're just getting through life, we're very, very fortunate to have those energies coming in at any set time. So tonight, I'd like to talk to you about my guide, Running Cloud, as he's known to me. Now, and if I take you back probably to when I was growing up, and we spoke about this before the last time I came on to Laurie's platform here, I was always very aware of energies, and I was always very aware of spirit. And really the first guide probably that I would have been conscious of would have been my grandfather, who I talked of before. He passed when I was young, and his presence has been there all the way through. And he's been a wonderful support to me and much to do with my work. So Running Cloud really has been around me for such a long time without me actually realizing that it's his presence that I was feeling. Until I really found my mediumship on a level that I could actually understand. That guide had been doing so much behind the scenes, so much for me that I couldn't possibly even remember. But a lot of it now, as I look back, I can remember the signs and the symbology behind him and that emotive way that he has found me, really, or should I say, I have found him. And it's through Circle that I found that connection really strongly. I have a wonderful, strong circle who, it's all about energy. It's all about feeling our way with spirit. Really, really, very much the heart of all we do in mediumship is all about feeling the energy and knowing the energy. And it was through my circle that Running Cloud had become really known to me. And as I say before, I think I did mention already that I was sitting in circle for a long time, and I was getting so fed up this particular night. And I was saying to him, please, if you are there, please show yourself. And we were sitting in the dark, all of us, when all of a sudden I got this boo. I could feel that. I could feel it all over my face. I could feel his presence, as if to say, "Do you really need me to do this? Because if you do, here it is." And from that moment on, it almost just turned things the right way for me, because it was almost that testament from him to say, "I've been here all this time, Elizabeth." So he has a Native American heritage. He always was brought up very much in the Native American Indian way. And even way back in 1995, when I was in the States visiting, I picked up a book in a bookshop, and that book, which is called The Soul of an Indian, hit home as to where my mediumship journey was going to go and how it was going to take form. And that was a way back then. And even then he was guiding and showing me the way forward. He's wonderful. But as I said to Sandra, who runs our circle, and I was telling her I was coming on tonight and I was going to speak about Running Cloud. And she said, "You know, Elizabeth, two things. It's very personal. Each individual guide's relationship with any person is very personal. It's very simple. Spirit make everything simple. And he did, leading right up to now. And he's been wonderful. As I say, it's always praise around the medium, but very often the spirit side of things isn't forgotten, but it's almost like the medium really has center stage.
Mm.
When for me, it's all about the guide and the thanks behind my work being offered to him, because he does it all for me. And if that guide wasn't there, and if my connection with spirit wasn't strong, I wouldn't be able to do this lovely work. And that really is so strong and so personal for me, that's how I had to speak about him tonight. Because he's always in control.
We don't do a service, do we, without talking to the guides before and after.
Yes, absolutely.
And after. Right, I'm going to put myself out on a limb here.
Not at all.
Have you ever come away from a situation and you sort of like really lambasted your guides and gone, what, you know, and really sort of like thrown it back at them to then start to work through it and think, yeah, actually, it's not your fault, is it? It's my fault. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, quite often when you, especially, you know yourself, Laurie, the work itself can be solitary as well. It can be quite a solitary journey for a medium. And a lot of the time, the feedback isn't there. So, you know, as you were growing as a medium, the feedback wasn't always there. So a lot of the time you were coming away maybe from a service or a reading, and you were thinking, well, actually, where is the feedback here? Let me know how I'm doing. And in that respect, within a day or two, you'd be getting answers from him. And he would be taking you on the right track. I mean, I've got a journal here which is full of writings from him, and it was a way back, probably just after I really found the energy and found his energy and the overshadowing everything became very apparent for me. And his writings were lovely. The thing with him, Laurie, is he's very personal too. When they speak, he's very wise, but he's very personal in the way he speaks. And the first thing that I picked up on, and it's 2 pages in, and this was just me getting to know the guide. And he wrote, "I was born of a land, Elizabeth, that was free until white man's rules changed the landscape for men, women, and animals alike. I lived in a time of want and plenty, of hurt and love, of discovering life's wonderment. I have lived, Elizabeth." And that was lovely, because that was the first real inkling as to what that substance behind this guide has been. And he's written like that ever since. He's kept it very, very wise and loving. Everything about this man, as he was on the earth plane, is as he is now in spirit. And I'm very, very fortunate to be able to let him work through me in that way. It's all about him, and it's all about there are other guides that come in as well. We know ourselves that we have other guides that come in and guide when necessary. We do that. I have family members that I feel close all the time, as I'm pretty sure you do, Laurie, with your guides.
Yeah.
They're there, and they're there for a purpose. But the purpose is really, at the heart of everything, is love. We have to extend that compassion and that love and that empathy that we get always from spirit. And I've never, ever had to doubt it at all. I mean, his writing, as I say, when he talks very much of his earthly kind of journey and the way his spirit now lives on in spirit. Because he says here, I show you the faces of my ancestors, and he does. Often they come in. People who endured much hardship, but who had immeasurable strength, who remained true to their souls, never turning from one who was suffering when others had turned their backs. Hardship ultimately allows you to connect to those in need. This ultimately is an intent of spirit. And again, I think that's really, really true of the way he describes his life. He did much good and he had much support. And the way the Native American Indians were very aware of spirit, everything he talks of is through spirit, connecting with them and connecting with him. And it's really lovely. It's lovely. And I just hope that people, as I say, it's not all about mediumship. It's very much about people just living their lives and feeling that lovely, lovely connection. It's really wonderful.
Really is. And I feel sometimes that the fact that you, I, all the other mediums everywhere in the world, we're actually on a development path.
Yes.
We're not here just for that one
That's right.
that one. That one purpose. We're here and we will have our trials, we will have our successes, we will have our challenges.
Very much.
But when we link into those that help us, guide, inspire us, those who may just step in for a short time. My mum steps in when I'm in conflict.
Lovely.
Which tells you a lot about my mum.
That's just so lovely, because that's just what a mum would do, wouldn't she, if she was here? And absolutely lovely. It just sounds perfect from her.
Yeah.
And she
said, we're here to grow and to develop and to continue to develop. I see in our fields of mediumship, some people get to a point and just say, that's fine, absolutely fine. If that's where they need to be, not a problem. Yes. But other people, they want to progress. They get this thirst. They get this urge to continue on. One of the biggest ways is just keep securing those bonds with the other side of life, because quite often we leave them out of our equations, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do.
I was talking today with one of the mediums who will be down here on the rally in a couple of weeks' time. Wonderful. And it fired off a few questions. Will this be all right? Will this be all right? Will this be all right? And I went, have you actually asked your team? Don't keep asking me. How do you feel about this? And he went, well, I like it. I feel it's right. I'm just, there you go. There's your answer.
I know, it's true. And again, it's the simplicity in the way they give you the answer. You don't need to look too far or delve too far when you're sitting with spirit, because they always give you that simplistic, element to the way they come in and offer it to us. that we overthink things so much. We do, don't we? We sit and we overthink things, and then you lose the thread of things, and then they'll come in and just go, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Look at it from this perspective, and then you have it, Elizabeth. You know, they often do that, and you just think, why did I not just take that approach instead of overplaying everything? But that's the human element to us, and again, we're all different, aren't we? And that's the way we work. We all work very, very individually, and for me, I'm trying to simplify an awful lot of it now, Laurie, and just enjoy it, because it's such a journey, wonderful journey, and wonderful connections. They really are, aren't they?
We have a question here from the lovely Reverend Ashley Oliver. Ashley, I keep saying this every time you put a question in. It's been far too long. We need to meet up. Ashley is asking, I was going to ask, I can hear of your deep trust relationship with Running Cloud as you speak about your journey with him. Are you finding that Running Cloud works solely on your clairvoyant and philosophy work, or has his influence merged into your healing mediumship too?
Yes.
I only say this as I hear a profound healing vibration in his words that crosses all subsects of mediumship.
Well, that's a wonderful question. And thank you, Ashley. It's a lovely question. And yes, absolutely. His influence has definitely merged into all aspects of my mediumship, healing aspect of it in particular. He's known to me as Running Cloud, but he has another name. And the other name applying to him was one of a doctor and of a healer. So there's almost a dual perspective to him. But that other side to him was one of a man who healed on the earth plane. He became a very, very philosophical, wonderful man of healing on the earth plane. So that's why I think you're feeling what you're feeling as you hear it in the words tonight. And I thank you for that, because that is just exactly what I was trying to convey. So you cracked it right away. And thank you so much. I do appreciate that, because he was and is still very much a healing element to all that I do. So thank you very, very much for that.
And Ashley is such a gifted speaker. The last time she was here at Poole, she did this address in the manner of a story. And do you know what? We were mesmerised.
Yes.
It was beautiful. I've never seen an address like that. And I was just, and that's how poignant that is. 3 years later, it's still there.
You're still remembering that. You know, that is a lovely question. Thank you so much. And sorry, Laurie, sorry.
I was going to shut up tonight, but you keep
saying. No, I love the interaction. It helps the energy. I like the interaction.
You said another side of him is a healer.
Yes.
Now, my ears pricked up when I heard that. I work very hard to develop my relationship with my guides, and being a cantankerous over 50 something.
I'm about the same. So don't worry.
I always ask for evidence, and I do get it. I do get it. I've had the most, I've just sat there and looked at it and gone, wow, I don't believe it. However, one of my guides appeared one day who I got very comfortable with and very familiar with, got the story and depths of the story, absolutely wonderful. And one day in a meditation, he appeared, but it wasn't him, but it was. And I was like, what's going on? I know it's you, but I'm seeing somebody completely different. I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, to help you at this time, I've gone to a different incarnation.
Uh-huh.
I went.
Yeah.
I love the idea. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as I say, it's a strange one for me, but he's very much, as I say, Running Cloud. That is the way he portrays himself to me. But I know there's another element to him. He's coming across, he's showing himself as this particular energy and this particular guide. But within that energy lies that other persona, if that makes sense.
So
for me, I have one, and I have this other energy working, if you like, I feel through him. So for me, there's one in the same. They are one in the same, and they are one in the same, because they convey exactly identical views on how I should be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
He is multidimensional. If you want to call him that, he is so much avenues that he actually extends to me. But he, for me, is running cloud. But in another, it's a really hard one to try and describe to you. But in another aspect of him, there's that other personas coming in and working.
No, I get it, because when that happened to me, after the initial wow moment, I thought,
yes,
actually, that does make sense.
Uh-huh.
Why would we go back as one fixed person?
True.
When we have a lifetime of lifetimes.
Yes, absolutely. Hit it on the nail. Yes, very much so.
Like you say, the core energy was him, the one that I knew.
Yes, I know. It's absolutely amazing for me, and I'm just looking at this one here. He was very much a man of, you can imagine, as a Native American Indian, he was very much a man of the environment and the earth, and very much still is. He sees and comments very much on how things are and how difficult it is for Mother Earth, if you like, at this point in time. But this was way back in 2020, and he had asked me to write, "Today the rain falls in your world. Embrace it, for it's nature's way of nourishing her children. The earth needs equilibrium, for without it, nature shall not survive. People need to speak as one voice to protect her, to adhere to rules set as they do now during this lockdown. So this was during COVID, and people were adhering to much. If not, the floods, the droughts, the fires shall rage on. And people who stood by and did nothing in indifference, speak out, Elizabeth." So again, it's his way of really bringing the environment and the real depth of feeling in him as to what we should be doing with the earth and the environment. And that's all the way through my journal, really, is very much part of talk of doing more. We should be doing more. And I feel that's within the mediumship side of things, when we're doing our addresses and when we're doing various other things, that environmental side of things should always be getting pushed to the front. That's the way he feels. But it's the way I feel too. It's you're tormented at times watching what happens and what's happening around the world.
Yeah.
Especially those uncertain times that we're kind of just living through at the moment. And the earth, in some ways, is just standing back and saying, okay, what are you going to do about this? Why? But what are we going to do about this? Because something needs to give for her to survive, for us to survive.
Yeah.
So it's, again, his words are really, really very strong. And again, he says here, and again, this is 2018, I'm going back and back and back, but it says, "The eyes of the dreamer can often sense and feel spirit, as no barriers exist to the world of spirit. The eyes of the awake can sometimes be dimmed to their connection with spirit. The earthly body can over time become detached to the bond with spirit, which saddens me, running cloud." And again, that was when I was kind of debating, not the fact that I sat in circle and at times I was thinking, gosh, come on now, give us more. But he was giving it to me all the time in those words, and giving me everything I needed to take things forward with the mediumship. But it's so true that as humans, we do get very kind of indifferent, blinded, deafened, if you like, to things that spirit are trying to throw our way. And that's just, as I say, very much for him to be able to voice that. I think tonight is lovely because it's him that's speaking, really, not me at all, Laurie.
But that is part of our pathway as evidential mediums.
Yes.
Because invariably we're invited to share philosophy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, once we've got into that mindset that there is no death.
Exactly.
We say that quite a lot, but to really comprehend it, just a blink of an eye and we continue on. It puts so much emphasis on this side of life, and it puts so much emphasis then. And this is what happens, I find, in this continued development that spiritualism has got a rich history of activists.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Going back turn of the century, a lot of child labour bills were repelled by active spiritualists. Because we have this connection, we have this empowerment, we have this inspiration from the spirit world to act in the best interest.
Very much.
And to lose fear.
Absolutely. Yes, fear it really is a fierce word. Fear. It can instill so much in so many people. And you can understand fear in a lot of situations. And I totally sympathize when people feel they are fearful of doing certain things. But for me, spirit has enabled me to feel that freedom, if you like, and try and speak and do my very best in the way of spirit. It's all about spirit. It's all about the art. Those words being used in the best possible way, because we have that voice. And as spiritualists and as mediums and as people, it's nice to be able to give off your best. And that's all they ask of us. They want us to live that wonderful life. And it's not always possible, because in life we have grief, we have loss, we have various things that go on, but they wish for us nothing better than a good life.
Yeah.
Very much.
And I find it magical. That's my word. Probably not the right word, but it's my word. When you have a well-rounded and passionate address.
Yes.
Because I always look to hear at Paul. During that service, one thing I always say that we can offer everybody coming in is hope.
Yes, lovely.
And that can come through in that address. And one of my lines that I've used a number of times is when we're talking about change, is just saying, you know what, we all say the same thing. What can I do? And I said, well, if you think back, every great movement, every great religion, every great civilization all started with one person.
Absolutely.
You never decry your own power.
Exactly.
What can I do? I can do anything.
And Laurie, you do so much. When you think about what you do there, how much you embrace everyone, and I mean everyone, not just mediums, but everyone, that they are really thankful of having the connection with your wonderful church and with you, because as I said earlier, it's a real compliment to someone when you can meet someone and feel comfortable in their energy, and you have that capacity, and that is really spirit. Look for that in the way that you address people and the way that you pull people to you. And again, I think it's I can just see wonderful aura around you, Laurie. It's not everyone that I would give that to, because quite often you'll meet, yourself, you meet a lot of people who on site you're thinking, oh gosh, they don't like me, or it's just not, we weren't connecting very well, and that's their prerogative. And the thing is, spirit have said that to me often, you're not going to be liked by everyone, Elizabeth. You have to just do what you can in the way of doing your best for everyone that you come across. And that's what I try to do. I do try and do that through spirit.
Exactly the same boat here. I always say, if you try to be everything to everybody, you end up being nothing.
Absolutely perfect.
We lose everything. And
yes.
Because we have views, sometimes people debate is fine. Diatribe leaves me a little bit chilly. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
You've got a number one fan down here in Weymouth, Elizabeth. Lovely Ashley Oliver back. Her next question is, when are these musings going to be available for us all to reflect and meditate upon? If not in a book, then a blog or a web page. I say this only to allow the flow of earth-honouring wisdom and environmental awareness to be available within all flavours of spiritualism.
Oh, Ashley, that's so kind. The journal's very important to me, and I have thought about getting around to doing a book around him and around everything really connecting me to him, and that will come, I think. But it's always getting the time. At the moment, I'm I'm like this. I'm on a treadmill at the moment, but it's certainly I certainly am looking at doing that, Ashley, and thank you so much, because it's almost like I needed that push, and there I am. I'm getting it tonight from yourself, so thank you. I will do that, because I feel his words do need to be printed, so that people can share with me his lovely energy, and I'm sure it will come. But thanks so much for that.
Wonderful. And you can get a copy here, Ashley, next year when Elizabeth is down with us at Poole. Okay?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. No, sorry.
Sorry.
Still
Shaw. He's just saying, very interesting to hear about running cloud. I'm not sure, Elizabeth, if you give private trance readings, but he senses from the energy in his words that he is a very adept at helping individuals be at peace with themselves and resolve any psychological conflict and low self-worth they may be trying to overcome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Phil. Yes, I do. Everyone knows that not everyone, but everyone within Edinburgh knows that I do private readings, but I can do trance readings as well. I do tend to do those in my own private time. But yes, absolutely. I feel it's strong. His energy when I sit and do trance in that respect is very, very strong. And I think that people enjoy it. I hope that people enjoy it. I let them take from it what they can. But yes, it's wonderful. And again, I have a friend in America, actually. Her name's Monica, and she's wonderful. And she said, Elizabeth, your words from spirit mean more to me than any amount of money you would pay out here for counsellors or and I'm not decrying counsellors because my husband's a counsellor, but what she was trying to do was if you can convey things in that sense, then it's helpful, and she has found that helpful in the past. But that's all I try to do. I mean, I'm just speaking from a personal perspective here. I don't know X amount, but I do personally feel the connection with him, and it is a very strong one. So thank you, Phil. But yes, the answer to that would be yes. Thank you.
This is the beauty, isn't it? The deeper we go with our mediumship, and when we're getting into those trance states and altered states. Mm-hmm. One thing I've seen people maybe struggle with a bit at the time, because one guide will say one thing, another guide may say something polar opposite to that.
Yes.
But it just shows the richness and the fullness of, we're talking about worlds within worlds here.
Oh, yes.
And there isn't going to be there isn't an answer, there is your answer, but your answer will lead on to more questions.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. That's perfectly said. And again, we're rich for it. We're the richer for it, Laurie. We really are. The the one thing that I did really feel his power was when I was going through loss in the last few years, because my brother and sister passed within 3 months of each other, just 2 or 3, well, a few years back now. And his power at that time coming through to me, his energy got me through so much. Apart from that loving family that I have and friends that we have, that power within Running Cloud's existence, if you like, in spirit, got me through such a hard time. And when I was speaking of the loss to him, he said, "What loss? It's only a physical loss, Elizabeth. You haven't lost them. You know you haven't lost them." And again, that was so true, because 3 days after my sister passed over, she actually showed herself to me in the bedroom. And it was like, it was his words saying, "There she is. Perhaps not in the physical, but you're seeing her here right in front of you in the spiritual." And it's so lovely for me. It was a great time to actually, that reinforcement, if you like, of that strength of spirit, a power in spirit, that when we need them, they're there. Yes, very much.
So true. So true. We've gone quiet. Why have we gone quiet?
No. I'm just looking at this actually because it's quite relevant. That was just after they passed over. And it says here, "In times of darkness, Spirit's hand shall offer you the light. And when the pathway appears long, Spirit's wings shall carry you. For in times of need, we are but Spirit, answering the call of love and of compassion, with grace and with dignity. We truly are at one with Spirit, because, Elizabeth, we are Spirit." And that was very strong after she passed over. And again, well, 6 weeks after she passed, my brother passed over. But in many respects, it was an easier passing than hers initially, because at that point I had realised just that reinforcing of spirit and the way his words were going to take us through it all, take me through things, make me understand, especially when you're doing the readings. Because when you're doing readings, the very first thing he will say to me before I start a reading is, "Look at the person that sits in front of you. Really look at the person that is sitting in front of you and appreciate what they may be going through. And before you start that reading, allow their energy to sit here, and mine will then come in and join you." And I do that every time now when I sit and do a private reading. I take a couple of minutes just to sit with them and watch and learn as his energy then comes in and joins me. And I know then which tack to take when I'm offering it out and hopefully helping, because it's all about that. It's all about that comfort, especially in readings. Readings are they can be complex, and really they shouldn't be, should be simple.
Definitely.
Very much.
I think the root of everything we do in spiritualism is healing.
Oh, yes, very much. Yes. I mean, it is. It's at the heart of all we do, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And I used to, when I first started Platform, I was so eager to get up there and do the demonstration that for me, again, that just shows you how things have changed for me, because at that time I would say, do I really need to do the address? Can someone else not do the address? And in my head, I was getting told, no, you have to do the address because you speak for us. You speak for me. And I did. And I started to realize the importance of that address in bringing the comfort and the love in it to the people that sit in front of you in these churches and the demonstrations and everything. It's all down to the way you are able to convey Spirit's lovely words, his lovely words. Yes, it really, really is. Yeah. But I mean, the book itself or the journal itself speaks volumes, Laurie. You could go on and on all night offering them out, but it's all really coming together in the same vein, in that he's trying to show that in order to be a person that can connect and communicate with people, we have to have A, love for ourselves, and B, love for the people that we're trying to help. Because a lot of people go through life and they don't appreciate the love for themselves. They feel they're not worthy of it, or they feel they don't deserve that love for whatever reasons. And it's never, ever at a point where Spirit will say, you don't deserve that love, because they always offer it. And you have to respect yourself and love that energy, that soul that sits in you, to allow you to go on. Because retrospectively, we can look back at many things and think, I'm not worthy of love. I should have acted better, or I should have given more. Spirit don't see it like that at all. Spirit sit and offer it out, and we offer it out as well. But bringing that love to us first is what Spirit want us to be capable of then giving to others. It's all about love.
Yeah.
It really is. Should really have the Beatles playing now, but it really is all about love. So again, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to connect with you tonight. For instance, people that are taking time to listen to me, you know, it's not me really tonight. It's him and the others that come in and work so well for me, with me. And there are others, because in our circle, we do have many other energies that come in and sit with us and offer much, just when I need it. Just when you're going through that self-doubt some days and you're thinking, come on now. And then they take me on that talk, and then I realise that actually, no, we're fine. We're fine. Just go with what you have and enjoy it. It's all about
It's the timelessness, isn't it, of these teachings we receive from Spirit?
Yes.
I was reading W.T. Steed, which was 1876.
Wow, yes.
And although the language is of the time, the actual essence and the energy is talking about the world today.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's amazing.
Zodiac is another one. He's hard going, his old Zodiac.
Yes.
He can be very hard going, but again, it is timeless.
It is. It's the same, that book, In Tune with the Infinite. I mean, I love it. It's a wonderful book. Waldo Trine. Waldo Trine. Trying, but I love that book, because again, you can look at it today and you could look at it 10 years from now, and when it was written, timeless, because everything about that book really does signify just how circular everything is, and how much that circle really is just doing that all the time. So it's lovely. We're very fortunate we have those books.
We are. I'm a big believer that there's nothing new in this world. Everything we have is an old energy repackaged, represented. But actually, when you work down to the energy of it, you just think, well, we've been here before. We've had that before. We've gone through that before.
Totally agree, Laurie. And again, we'll see it 20, 30, 40 years from now. You know, as people will look back in the likes of whoever that was doing this at this time and think, actually, there's not a great deal of difference here. Yeah. I do feel personally that there is a shift in many respects in the way Spirit are going to work. I do feel that. And it's all, again, the energy is everything. The energy is the thing that will take us to another level. It's almost going to be really powerful in the way the energy is shown to us and given to us, and make it much easier, not just for mediums, but for everyone to really connect with the spirits around them. So I think it'll be a lovely time, an exciting time as things move on. But I think mediums have their place, definitely. because I do think genuine mediums have that lovely ability to just offer things out, and I'm thankful for that. I'm always thankful to Spirit for that.
I think coming in on the energy side now, a few of my friends are into the metaphysics, and friends over in America.
Yes.
So through them, I've started to learn and pick up some inkling of it. And I thought, actually, I really like this because it's much more simple, although it's not oversimplified.
Yes.
So it does frustrate me sometimes where people's view of spirit and the spirit world is just an extension of the physical world. Or you hear people, well, why would spirit do that to me? Well,
yes.
Why wouldn't they? You
Absolutely.
obviously need that.
Yeah. It's such an obvious response and a right response. Why wouldn't they? Really? Yeah. Yes. No, it is. It's a fascinating. It's a fascinating subject, and it's one that really, well, I mean, the physical, the metaphysical is everything, really, in a lot of respects. In this house, this is an old house, Laurie. This is an old estate cottage that I live in. That was the gardener's cottage in this estate. And where I'm sitting now used to be the front door entrance to that cottage. There's a big extension to it now. It's a lot longer than it ever was. And the energies that sit in this house with me, in this room, physical, everything, you get everything coming to you. I would love someone just to come in and actually try and work out how many of them there are at times, because for me, they come in and they march in, and we've had various things going on within the home, but this particular place where I sit was the front door of the old cottage, and it has so much energy still here that you feel on a daily basis. My husband is very supportive. He's not a spiritualist by any means, but John has always supported me. He feels it. The dog feels it. The animals all feel it. Yeah. And I just love it. To me, it's so natural to feel those lovely energies just pulling together and coming in. They come in and sit with us. So it's fantastic. You'll need to come up sometime and actually experience this.
Thank you. What was it? Geopathic energies. Somebody was talking about that one night, and I thought, oh, I like that because I can relate to this.
Yes.
The Lake District. First time I got off the train, I was just want to fall to my knees and say, I'm never leaving here.
Oh.
The word, it was just like, it's a
hug. Yes, absolutely.
The same when I get north of the border. Literally, I don't jest about this. On the train journey up there, I can feel my spirit soar and lift.
Oh, wonderful.
Conversely, coming back, by the time I'm at Euston, I'm thinking, oh God, here we go.
Wow.
But you just get into the area, and that again is through the energy.
Oh, it is. Yes, absolutely. It's lovely. It's wonderful. It's really, I mean, as I say, I can actually feel the energies here as we speak. His energy as I speak, my guide's energies as I speak, and it's lovely. For me, there's a real, it's a whoosh at the moment I'm getting here, just having the energy around me as I sit. So I just get the impression he's really thankful for having had the time to speak tonight. It's his time. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
I often say this. I keep saying I often say this. It's probably time I got new lines. But anyway, I often say that, we're not going to make everybody an evidential medium, as in working on the platform. But I feel very deeply and very strongly Spirit's want for us is that everybody's awareness can open up.
Absolutely.
To know that loved one is close. And we don't need, so much of our life we need validation. Oh, look, I saw that, I got it right, didn't I? Yes. Oh, yes, thank you. And getting beyond that validation state, just when I sit up, if somebody saw me, I would be probably in a very secure nursing home by now. They can't sit there and just suddenly roar with laughter because somebody just dropped something in my ear, and I'm like, okay. Different point of view, but yeah, that's fine. I can go along with that. And other times, yeah, when we have a bit of a low day, yeah, I can sit there and mumble away and get
Yes.
things sorted.
How fortunate we are, though, huh? How fortunate we are.
Very true. Darren Simmons. Good evening, Darren. I haven't seen you for a while, sir. Does running cloud work with you when you do your art?
Oh, Darren, those pictures behind me, obviously running clouds very evidently here because it's all about cloud work and sky work. So yes, he does very much work with me, and I love skies. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, just the skies up here in particular, but same where you are, Laurie, the skies change so much. And we've got those lovely skies, summer skies at the moment, that I'm clicking all the time in the way of pictures. But that in my painting, in the oil paintings, it's all about the skies, if you see them there. But yes, he does work with me all the time. I would say it was more him than me as well with the art. Very much so. But I do enjoy art, and I know his energy just sits and works with me, and it's all cloud work, so it was quite apt, really. That one there is actually called Running Clouds because it's a dark sky, but the clouds are actually, well, it kind of gives the emphasis of a running cloud, so that was for him. So that one was probably all me, but the others are very much, when I work, is through him. So yes, thank you for that. Thank you very much.
The one you pointed out was the one I was drawn to when you came online. I was like, I like that.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, that's got depth about that.
Oh.
Not saying the other ones haven't.
No, honestly, no, I love it as well, Laurie. It's really, I love that one. I think it's the colour in it. Yes.
Phil Shaw back on. Phil is also a very good astrologer. Neptune in Pisces and Pluto ingressing into Aquarius indicates significant shift in mediumship and spiritual development in a global level.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd go along with that, Phil, very much so. I do feel there's a real shift going to take place, and I think it definitely for the good. And I think it will bring everything much, it is a small world, isn't it? Yeah. And when we're all working off the same kind of level, that spiritual level, what is that going to be like? That would be wonderful if we were all singing off that same hymn sheet. Totally agree. That's lovely. Thank you for that, Phil. It's lovely.
And there is undoubtedly this shift in energies and perceptions. It's like all things, we have the balance side, don't we? And so whereas there is so many opportunities coming in, we are seeing a few schools of thoughts,
yes,
which they may have their own merit, but at the end of the day, they're not spiritualism.
That's right.
And I know here in Poole, I've had a few discussions with people saying that's absolutely wonderful, but this is a spiritualist church. And we are going to continue working with the work of the Spirit.
Yes.
If you want to continue along with that, that's absolutely fine. But this, and it does bring in a few, not challenges, but just does make you think a little bit more about where are we going, what is going to go on, what is going to unfold. We had a chap from Glasgow here on Tuesday, Tom Anderson.
Oh, I've heard the name, yes.
Physical medium, and he gave a sublime talk, absolutely sublime.
It would be.
In there, it came out in the talk there about these change, because we live this finite life. So, right, we're going to have this shift in energy like next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And then the whole world's going to suddenly change. And you just think, that will be pretty. Not. But the response there from the guide was, yes, there are changes, and like all deep meaning changes, these will take generations to embed. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was to punch the air moment. Oh, stop it.
Oh, I know. For me, I take it very simply. I just walk with it, and I'm going to just wait and see how things develop. And again, it's our journey as well, Laurie, that will take us to where we need to be. I have no doubt of that. And as I say, spirit work very, very simply, for me anyway. They don't throw too much in my way that's going to, what's going on here? You know, I don't do a lot of that with them. So it's been lovely so far. And we'll see how far, you know, it will take us. But it's been very enjoyable. I love working for spirit. But they are the initiators, and they are the ones, as I say often, when I'm thanking people for having me at certain places, you know, the very last thing I will say is, and thanks to spirit, because without spirit, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing what I do. And very much so, thanks for spirit. Thank you to spirit. And these wonderful guides we have. I mean, my father's one as well that comes in a lot. Wee Neely. My dad was only 5'5", and he's been there right the way through since his passing in particular. He's been there for me, and I love his energy coming in, because I know when my dad's there, everything's going to be fine. Brilliant. Everything's going to work, and it does. Every time I see his energy coming to me, then I know that particular day or that particular reading or whatever else is going to be absolutely spot on, fine.
Great.
Thank you.
Reverend Ashley, so many of our partners are spiritual by proxy and have probably seen and heard more than most card-carrying spiritualists. I wonder about the spirit contracts made to support so many developing mediums and circles without being a direct part of proceedings. All souls are part of the unfolding plan.
Yes. Again, Ashley, my view on much of mediumship in particular, obviously we've got a kind of valid interest in how it works and how things are played out. And for me, again, the simplicity that spirit want us to work by should be the way we take ourselves forward. But I totally agree with you. I wonder about the spirit contracts made to support so many developing mediums and circles without being a direct part of proceedings. Absolutely. All souls are part of the unfolding plan. All souls are very much so part of the unfolding plan. I love your words. So thank you so much for offering those out tonight. That's great for me. And thanks, Ashley. I'll take that on board and have a think about that, actually. But yes, I love them.
You too. I'm getting a little poke here.
Yes, me too. Yes.
All right, just for a bit of clarification. Sorry, I typed that response a while ago as we were speaking about your husband and your house.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Thank you.
There we go. Two conversations later, I'm like, you having a go at me?
I should really have the glasses on. I'm hopeless. I should have glasses on here tonight. I don't see half of it, so I'm really bad. But I do appreciate all those. That's lovely. Those responses, very much so.
Brilliant. Elizabeth, again, conversation with you, it's just like being in the company of an old friend again. It's just so easy.
Thank you, Laurie.
It doesn't have to be pushed or directed. It just flows, and it's simply sublime. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for listening. It's all about Running Cloud.
Yes, I was just about to say, and thank you to Running Cloud. I don't know if it was anything, but here I had this pressure in my ear halfway through, and I thought, what's that? What's going on there then?
Just him letting you know he's there, I think.
Trouble is, you get to my age and you 50-50. Is it spirit or is it a bit dropped off?
Oh, oh no. Oh.
Elizabeth, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful evening. Thank you, everybody who joined us tonight, watching live or in the future on catch up. We hope we brought you some things to think about, to take on, and to work with. That's the whole point of these Lyceum nights, is to take away something and go, okay.
Thank you, Laurie.
Pleasure. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Running Cloud, sir.
Oh, wonderful.
We have next week's Lyceum. I'm just waiting on the guests, plural, to confirm. As soon as they have, then we can advertise that. And the week after, on the 8th of July, our Lyceum night will be run by the lovely Jack out in Denmark, who will be talking to Martin Colclough. And that'll be on the topic of the importance of education within spiritualism and our mediumship. Jack will be running that night because this didn't dawn on me until this morning. On that weekend, we have our rally weekend, which is a really brilliant day. It's a full day of talks, questions, answers. We round it off with a trance address from Mark Stone. And then in the evening, we have a big demonstration of evidential mediumship. We have Susan Brothwood-Hughes, Stephen Trolland, Anne-Marie Hogan, Mark Stone, and Elaine Bevan, Reverend Elaine Bevan.
That sounds perfect.
But actually staying here in the church accommodation, there will be an Englishman, a Scotsman, and an Irish lady. So
that sounds good.
If we can't come up with a joke between us three, then there's all hope is lost, really, isn't it? That weekend, Stevie is lovely. He is lovely. He really is. He's such a gentle soul. And Susan, I think, is going to be fun.
Well, it sounds as if it's going to be a perfect time. So enjoy it. Enjoy it.
We did this rally last year for the first time, and it just worked. It was beautiful.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Just
I wish it was closer. I would come.
We will be streaming it online.
Oh wow! Okay.
To share it out. It's like I'm working the mediums. I feel terrible because
no.
I hate working the mediums like this. But we'll all be together at 10 o'clock in the morning till 11:30 doing the divine service. 12 o'clock we kick off with the talks, an hour slot per talker, 35-40 minutes talk, time for Q&As, and then time to move around before moving on to the next ones. We're discussing spiritualism and your soul's progress, the evolution of consciousness, the meaning of philosophy within our movement, and spiritualism. Where do we go from here? And then, as I say, that will be rounded off. Mark Stone will be given a trance address with his guides. Then we've got a quick hour and a half to get everybody fed and calmed down before the evening kicks off.
That sounds
you don't come to Paul for a holiday.
We certainly don't. I bet they're going to love it. They will love it.
They will. We've got this little group chat going, and already people are joking with each other. And I'm thinking, that's great. I love that.
It's just building. Wonderful. Well, all the very best for it, Laurie. I'll be tuning in if I can that day.
Thank you.
And take care. Enjoy that.
You, my darling. And you never know, September time, Laurie should be on his travels to your end of the country.
Well, you must come. You're more than welcome to come. It's Kintyre. It's Kintyre. And we're right on the west coast.
I remember that by the song.
I
won't sing.
And we have the islands, which are Isla and Jura, where all the whiskey's made.
Did you see that instant attention there?
Right across the water from me. So we've got Isla and Jura and Gia, all these lovely islands. So yeah, absolutely come down.
Jura.
Yes, lovely whiskey. Yes.
Anyway, there we go. Look, even Reverend Ashley Oliver, Jura whiskey.
Really, Ashley, you should come and come and taste it.
Yeah.
We've got lovely Campbelltown whiskies. We've got Springbank whiskey. We've got Glen Scotia whiskies as well. I mean, they're distilleries here. They're wonderful. So come and get a special bottle.
Maybe need longer than a long weekend then.
Absolutely.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. I don't know we're still on 26 degrees down here, so it's going to be
it is warm. I don't think it's not quite as warm as that here, but it's getting there, I think. So, yeah. But yes, thanks, Laurie.
All right, thank you. Thank you.